Alright guys, I want to just show you a little bit of a change that I've made to my solar panel. The weight of the panels on the frame made this thing want to, if it went one way or the other very much, it would, basically want to fall. Now, of course, once we get the cylinder on there, which is going to run this thing, east and west. So, as you can see, it moves down and it moves to the east, and of course it will be tilting forward. I got to put some pins up here, so when this is tilted down toward the south, that'll hold that in position. But right now it's it's starting to get to where I actually need to tilt it a little bit toward the south. But anyways, I got to thinking about, if there was a storm or something happened and there was nothing holding that cylinder, that's going to go from down here, which there's a post on the back side here. If you see here, this post is in line with this here, and there's going to be a cylinder that goes from there to this post, and I may have to extend this down actually, because I measured the length of the cylinder, and it's probably going to be reaching down here, so probably going to have to cut this off and then extend this down. But anyways, the cylinder will attach to this, so as this tilts out, it will stay in line with this up here, and that will be the actuator, which will actually pull this down to the east, and then it will push it up and face it toward the west. But what happened is, I got to thinking about, if that cylinder for some reason broke loose, what's going to happen to the panels? And what would happen is the panels would either fall this way or they'd fall that way, depending on wind or whatever, and could damage the panels, could damage the entire frame. So this right here is basically a spring system that I kind of come up with. And if you notice, these are just springs off of like a screen door, so they'll flex once it gets this way, and that side of the tier is going to help hold the weight of the panel and the frame and take a little bit of load off the motor that's actually actuating this back and forth. And then, of course, I got to thinking about the back side as well, because when I was tilting it forward, this right here, this post here, as you got to a certain point, especially because of these, it wants to pull down some, so then it would want to go that way and have extra pressure, which it's going to have pins to hold it in each position. But just for now, I'm putting this on here, that way it won't even want to go that way, and this is going to actually hold down. And of course, I may actually move this up some, and then this will actually take and bear some of the weight of it being tilted toward the south. So when it gets extremely tilted toward the south, it puts a lot of a weight, plus these right here springs are probably going to be pulling a little bit that direction as well. So kind of want to show you guys a little update. We got the panels on there. As soon as the wiring gets here, I'm going to wire everything up, run some tests, get my solar tracking set up. Probably will be putting a box on here somewhere to hold the battery, and then I'm going to have it like just a little mini solar panel and a controller which will actually charge the battery. That battery will supply 12 volts to the controller, and then it will basically be self-sustaining as far as its own power. And that's what my goal is until I get it and check everything and make sure that'll work. I may have to do something different, but that's kind of what I want to do. And then that way I got some wires running down coming from the panels, and then I got to bury them from here to the house and then run them up to where my controllers and everything are at. So anyways, I think it's going to work out pretty good. A little closer to the goal. So I got basically screws holding the panels down with rubber seals every, on each one of those 2x4s all the way across. So 3 on each side, and then we got one on the bottom. I don't know if you can see it or not, but see, there's the ones on the bottom. So when it's tilted down to the south. So hopefully nothing gets flexed too hard, because we don't want to break a panel. I know when I built this frame the first time, it was in a twist. I rebuilt it, and now it's pretty well flat. So it turned out really good. Haven't got a lot of money invested in it. That's the nice thing about it. Everything is out of treated wood. So if this works out, then I'm gonna kind of tweak the process a little bit, maybe draw it out on CAD or something, and then if somebody wants to build their own, I'll give you the plans and you can build your own. Pretty neat setup, really. It will be solar tracking, so you get the most out of your sun. And I'll do some videos to you. I'm doing some lithium batteries, and those are going to supply my energy for when the power's out. All right, thanks for watching.